This is Priyanka Srinivasan presenting you your messy minds. In this video, we are going to see about the stress in the middle age. So, if you see when the environmental demands or the stresses are exceeding a person's capacity, then it will actually lead to some kind of stress in that individual. So, how a person is going to adapt to these stresses are through brain, adrenal glands and the immune system. So, if you take the brain, so brain is the one which actually perceives the danger. Okay, so if something is happening in your life or if something is happening in front of your eyes, then the brain will only know and brain will only interpret and understand that the happening incident is going to be dangerous or not. And the adrenal glands. So the adrenal glands will actually provide a mobilization to your body through which you can actually fight against that danger. And the third one is the immune system, right? So if you are having a good immune system, then it will provide a lots of defenses to fight and achieve in that fear that you have got or achieve in the danger that you have got. Okay, so these are the three ways in which the body actually adapts to these stresses. And the chief stresses of a person can include like family relationships sometimes, or the work or money, or sometimes it can even be the housing. Like we always say, right? Shelter is very, very important, clothing is very, very important, and food is very, very important for a person, like the basic needs. So it can also be based on these three factors too. And most of the times if you see the person will be stressed if they are having a kind of interpersonal tensions with their spouses. So if it's like often or frequent conflicts between their spouses, or if they are having some kind of misunderstandings regularly, then that can actually lead to a kind of stress to the person. And the other reasons can also be like financial issues or the issues with the children. So if you see financial issue will actually create a kind of stress always in our mind, right? So whenever you're having a financial crisis, then obviously you will be having a kind of stress in your mind or anxiety in your mind, right? And also the middle adult ages where they have the children of adolescent age, let's say. So that time they actually have to give a constant monitoring towards their children, right? So if they are getting to know that the child is actually going through some kind of an activity which is very bad for the person, or some kind of illegal activities and all these things, then the parents will actually get kind of a stress. So both in a ways of financial and the children wise, the parents can get a kind of a stress. And if you compare and say the middle adults are more likely to experience stress than the old age or the young adults, we can say. And when we are comparing the men and women, we can see that women actually go through a lot of stresses in their life than the men. So this can be because like men actually go to the work and they see a lot more people out there, and they have this kind of changing of environments, right? So that can actually positively support them in handling these stresses, whereas the women who actually more or less they are staying at home, right? And most of the women are working nowadays, but if you are comparing, then the women are actually staying at home and they are taking care of their children and all these things. So in that way they are stressed even more, we can say. And also if you see some people actually react to a stress in their life by getting sick. So they will be having some kind of health issues if they are stressed. So for example, let's say if a person's spouse or if a person's beloved one has been dead, so in that way they will kind of develop a kind of health issues on the later days, like hypertension, cardiac arrest, or heart diseases, or stroke, or so many else things are there, right? So that kind of health issues can actually develop as a result of a person being stressed. And if you see the daily stresses like irritation, frustration, or even overload of the work and all these things, so this can actually add up to the stress that the person is having. So even if it is a small little stress that we are going through, that will actually add up to the bigger stress that we actually have it in our mind. So the daily stresses also will actually contribute to your major stress in your life. So if you see like the chronic stresses can actually lead to a disruption in the immune system, we can say. So whenever you are having a chronic stress which cannot be taken out from you, then obviously you will be going through some kind of immune disturbances and you will fall sick often. And on the other hand, if you see the stresses when you are actually experiencing, when you have to actually give a talk in front of an audience, or when you are giving up a test in examination hall or something like this, so that kind of stress actually positively affects the immune system, and it actually strengthens the immune system. And if you see, most of the times the prolonged and intense type of stresses if you are having, even though it is going to like strengthen the immune system, it is going to negatively affect the immune system. Okay, so always the degree, that is the intensity of the stress, it means a lot, and it can actually positively or negatively affect your immune systems. So other than this, other reasons for becoming stressed can be like the behavioral habits, like if you are not sleeping properly, or if you are eating poor nutritious foods, or sometimes you have the smoking or drinking habits. So all these can also lead to some kind of stress in your life. And the major way to like overcome these stresses are the supportive relationships. So for example, if you are having a kind of interpersonal tension with your spouse, then if at all your relationship with your kids or relationship with your parents are good enough, then those are the supportive relationships that you are having. So in that way, actually you can cope up with the stress that you have got. Okay, so there we come to the end of this video with a different psychological content. I will meet you all in the next episode. Until then, it's bye from Priyanka. Bye.